Hey, this is Colin from Anytime Fitness on Stadium Drive in Kalamazoo, and I'm continuing our video series called Keto Shorts. And today, what I'll be discussing with you is gluconeogenesis. And so for those of you that don't know what gluconeogenesis is, essentially it is the breakdown of muscle tissue to be converted into glucose in order to maintain steady levels of blood sugar in the body and have adequate amounts of energy. So typically that's not a good thing. That's not what you want, especially whenever you're trying to improve your physique. Going into gluconeogenesis is never a good thing. And why I'm discussing this with keto shorts today is because people, there's a thought process out there that going into ketosis will actually also put you into gluconeogenesis, okay? And that by lowering your blood sugar, by drastically reducing the amount of carbohydrates that you're eating, your body is going to catabolize your muscle tissue. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to break down kind of the process of what happens a little bit in ketosis and show and just kind of briefly discuss how and why gluconeogenesis does not happen in ketosis. So as I mentioned before, gluconeogenesis, the breakdown of muscle tissue in order to convert it into glucose. Now, when you are going into ketosis, so again, ketosis is 70% of your calories from fat and a minimum of 5% of calories from carbohydrates. So when you're trying to go into ketosis, minimizing your amount of carbohydrates is going to lower your blood sugar. Now, the first thing your body does when that happens is it pulls stored glycogen. So glycogen is glucose stored in muscle tissue or in the liver, and so it's going to go to those stored areas of glycogen and use that for fuel. And most people, typically, after about 30 hours of no adequate intake of carbohydrates into the body, typically your stored glycogen will be completely used up. And it's at that point where your body will, at times, begin attacking muscle tissue in order to convert that into glucose. So technically you kind of have a 30-hour window where your body is kind of it's not going to be attacking that muscle tissue. Now that may vary with people, but for the most part 30 hours is that window. So again, with ketosis, it takes time to get into ketosis. And what is happening with ketosis is you start using fat and ketones as an energy source instead of carbohydrates. And so if your body, during that 30-hour time period, starts to convert from using fat as an energy source instead of carbohydrates, there's not going to be a need for your body to then break down muscle tissue and use that as energy. So ways to make sure that gluconeogenesis does not happen if you're going into a ketosis diet is the first and foremost thing is make sure you have adequate amounts of protein. So why that's important, obviously, is the amino acids that are found in protein. Amino acids cannot be stored by the body, and so there's a constant pool of amino acids that are pulled from what you eat that are in your body looking to be used to either repair muscle tissue or be stored as fat or just completely disregarded. So if you are intaking at least 20% of your calories from protein, you are maintaining your amino acid pool. Now, those who may be leaner, you may need a little bit more protein to help maintain that, but for the most part, if you're converting over to ketosis and you're maintaining a steady level of protein, you are not going to lose lean body mass. So I hope that's helpful for you. And just, there's a lot more science behind this. This is just a little short Cliff Note version of that. I can post a few links along this video that kind of go into a little more detail on gluconeogenesis if you're interested in learning more about it. But the point I want to get at is going into ketosis does not cause your muscle tissue to become catabolized. Oh yeah, one more disclaimer. If you have hormonal imbalances, okay, so whether that's like with thyroid, with digestive hormones, that can affect your ability to get into ketosis, and in which case, if you're going longer, if it's taking longer to get into ketosis, gluconeogenesis may happen, but that's only typical if there's some sort of hormonal imbalance, in which case you should definitely seek out a physician if that's an issue for you. So I hope this was helpful. Stay tuned for more keto shorts.